In this video, we will be checking out every Lord of the Rings minifigure that LEGO has ever made. The theme released in 2012 and ended in 2015 very abruptly, before being brought back in 2023 with the release of a massive Rivendell build. Over that time span, LEGO has brought to life 140 unique characters from J.R.R. Tolkien's universe. Let's venture together on this journey through Middle-earth as we gaze upon these incredible LEGO minifigures. We're going to start off with Gandalf the Grey. Gandalf is a super awesome minifigure from The Lord of the Rings and one of my favorite characters from the movies. His beard, hat, and torso and his staff really captured the essence of his character. Next up we have Frodo Baggins. This minifigure in the Gandalf we looked at previously came in the Gandalf Arrive set, and it's one of the most iconic parts of The Lord of the Rings. Here we have another Frodo Baggins, but this one's from Shelob Attacks and it's exclusive to that set. This one has the One Ring, and he has a super awesome second face print for being scared of the spider. Here is Samwise Gamgee, another figure exclusive to Shelob Attacks. This one sports an awesome little gem piece. I'm not sure what that is from the movie, but it's a very cool piece and a super sweet sword. Samwise's face on this minifigure looks super pissed off, but he does have an extra face if you want to make him look scared. Next up we have Gollum. There are 3 versions of Gollum, but this one is unique to the Shelob Attack set. The only thing that's different about this one is that he has wide eyes. This figure is awesome because LEGO made exclusive molds for his arms and his body. Next up we have an Uruk-hai from the Uruk-hai army. This is a super army buildable figure, and I love the sword piece and the shield that comes with this figure. Here's another Uruk from the Uruk-hai army set. I like this one better because it has the helmet piece. This Uruk might look more special than the last 2, but it's weird because this one came in 3 sets when the other ones came in just 1. This one came in a polybag and Helm's Deep. In my opinion, this one is better because of the breastplate. Here we have a Rohan soldier from the Uruk-hai army. This is a good guy army builder. He's got an awesome little bow piece in the front and some bows in the back. I also really like that helmet. Here we have Eomer. This has got to be one of the best minifigures from the Lord of the Rings. His helmet piece is on point, sporting all the gold and those brown extra prints compared to the last helmet. He has a shield, and his spear is even dual molded. The one thing I wish this figure had, though, was some flowing locks like Eomer does in the movie. Here we have a Moria Orc. This one's from the Mines of Moria. This has a very cool bronze axe piece, but other than that, it's nothing too special. I will say the hair piece is really cool in this figure with the dual molded green ears. Next up we have Peregrine Took, otherwise known as Pippin. I love his scarf piece. It's really cool that you're able to tell that the scarf is below the shirt. There's a lot of layers to the printing on this torso, and he's got a super cool green cape. Next up we have Gimli. Gimli is one of the most iconic characters from The Lord of the Rings, and LEGO did a great job making this minifigure accurate. The helmet piece is really cool because it can go over the beard, and it's got some really cool printing. The beard is also very unique to this minifigure. Next up we have Boromir. He is a ginger, but that doesn't mean he's all bad. He's got a super cool sword piece, and I love the silver printing that connects from the torso all the way down to the legs. Next up we have Legolas. Legolas is by far my favorite elf from the Lord of the Rings movies, and this minifigure did him justice. He has some silver printing that glints in the lighting, and he's got a really cool big bow. His hairpiece is also very unique and does a great job impersonating the figure. Next up we have Merry, another ginger. It seems like gingers are very popular in the Lord of the Rings movies. This figure is surprisingly expensive and it has sold for over $50 in the past. This figure is exclusive to the Attack on the Weathertop. Next up is Aragorn. This figure is also exclusive to the Attack on the Weathertop. The figures where the printing syncs up with the legs are some of my favorite figures. This one does feel a little basic to me though. Here we have a Ringwrath. This cape is absolutely insane. It is exclusive to the Ringwrath and it looks amazing. This figure is exclusive to the Attack on the Weathertop, and that set came with 2 of the Ringwraths. This figure is surprisingly expensive. It's over $40 on the aftermarket. It is expensive because there's not very many of these out there, and a lot of people want to collect at least 13 of these because that's how many were in the movies. Next up we have the Berserker. This is one of the most unique orcs from the Lord of the Rings minifigures. It's exclusive to Helm's Deep, and I love the printing on its torso and its head. I will say the leg printing is a little weird because it makes it look naked. It even has some back printing on the head. Next up we have Haldir. This figure is also exclusive to Helm's Deep and it runs over $50. This figure has a lot going for it, including the hair piece, the bow, golden arms, gold printing on the chest and the legs, and the printing syncs up. What an amazing minifig. The bangers keep coming. Next up is King Theoden. He looks very confident with his smirk. He's got some insane printing on his chest plate and his helmet. The gold really pops on this dark brown color. He also has a super awesome shield. This figure runs over $80. Next up we have an Uruk-hai here. This one is very similar to the others, except it is fully decked out, has a handprint helmet and a handprint shield. This one came in the Tower of Orthanc and the Orc Forge. Next up we have a Mordor Orc. This one also came in the Orc Forge, and it's the only set that had this minifigure. This one just has that hairpiece and a pretty basic print on the chest. Nothing too special with this figure, but it is a fun army builder. Next up we have a Mordor Orc. It's the same thing as the last one, except it doesn't have the hairpiece, but it does have this sword and this mallet. This orc definitely makes the weaponry for the rest of the orcs. Here we have Lurtz. This one is exclusive to the Orc Forge, and he's got some banger printing on his chest and his headpiece. The one thing is he really looks naked with no printing on the legs.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I wish we could see some printing on there. Here we have a Mirkwood Elf Guard. This one only came in a poly bag. This is a super sweet figure, and it's a very popular army builder. Next up we have the Cave Troll, which is exclusive to the Mines of Moria. This minifigure reminds me of the final battle scene, I believe in The Hobbit, when a bunch of these come storming at the dwarves and the elves. I'm like, dude, how are they gonna beat these guys here? They're huge. These ones are pretty expensive because they're so army buildable, because of that scene in the movie. I myself am a huge fan of big figs and love to see this one represented so well in minifigure form. Next up we have another figure from Attack on the Weathertop, Frodo Baggins. I love the scared face on Frodo, and he has the one ring and a sword. Super decked out minifigure. Next up we have Bilbo Baggins with suspenders. What a dog. You can just tell by his face that this dude is a beast. This one is exclusive to the Unexpected Gathering. Pretty basic fig, but it gets the job done. It does look like he crumbled under pressure. But wait, Bilbo was back, and this time he has a dark red coat. Look at this super fancy hobbit with his awesome printing here. He's got multiple shirts on. Bro's not fat, he's just wearing 20 shirts. Here we go with the second version of Gollum. This one is the Narrow Eyes. Fun fact about this one, it's the same mold as the last one, just different printing. Fun fact about this one, not only did it come in a Lord of the Rings set, but it also came in a LEGO Dimensions pack. Next up we have a Goblin Soldier from the Goblin King Battle. I like that LEGO went the extra mile and did some leg printing on this one, and it's got some really weird and uncomfortable torso printing. Like, all these weird grooves are kind of making me squeamish. This one also has a pretty unique hairpiece. Here we have Elrond. This one is exclusive to a poly bag. This minifigure has an awesome torso. This is entirely pearl gold, and it's a little weird because this is a tall figure with a short cape, but overall a very well done minifigure. Here we have Tauriel. She's exclusive to the Escape from Mirkwood Spider set. Nice elf minifigure with awesome printing on the front and a really cool hairpiece. Here's another version of Legolas. This one came in 3 sets, but it's a very cool outfit with the gold arms. Here we have the dwarf Feely. He comes with 2 swords and a bow, and a holder for bows. He's got a really cool hairpiece, and what do you know? Another ginger. Next up we have Keely the dwarf. This guy can shoot arrows, and it makes sense because this guy pulls elves. If you didn't know, Tauriel falls in love with this dude. What a player. Short kings rise up. Next up we have Yazneg. This one is exclusive to the Attack of the Wargs. These orc minifigures can make me really uncomfortable, but they still are sweet minifigures. Those eyes just stare into your soul. Here we have a Hunter Orc. This is very similar to an orc we looked at before. It's from the Attack of the Wargs set. Next up we have Thorin Oakenshield. This guy is the King Dwarf. I love that piece on the belt. The blue really complements the silver well. Next up we have Bifer the dwarf. This is a super awesome minifigure because it has a really cool hair piece. He's got the gray beard in front and some black short hair in the back, a short cape, and a really sweet spear. Next up we have the Goblin King, exclusive to the Goblin King battle. I love his weapon with the teeth coming out, and this is the second big fig from the Lord of the Rings lineup. His ears are funny. He's super chubby, but you know what? It makes this figure unique, and I really love it. The next figure, I don't have it because my brother sold it off in our store, but it is the Goblin Soldier 1. Jack, put up a picture of it. Next up, we have the Goblin Scribe. This one is also unique to the Goblin King battle. It's basically the other goblins, except it has really short legs. And he's really chonky. What a beer belly. Here we have Ori the dwarf. This one's giving me Dwight Schrute vibes. It's gotta be the hair. He's got a really fun purple torso and a nice cape and scarf and belt. The beard print is also very cool because it's got, I don't know if you can tell, but it's got the dark tan right there in the bottom left and bottom right. Next up, we have Nori the dwarf. This one is super fun because of that hair piece. These dwarf pieces are always super unique, and this hair piece is no exception. Bro looks like a dinosaur, my goodness. Oh, and what do you know? Another ginger. I'm starting to think that J.R.R. Tolkien has a type. Next up is Dory the dwarf. This one's hairpiece is also unique to the figure, and he's got a really nice cape and torso. I really like that dark red. His weapon is also extra fun. Here we have another figure from the Attack of the Wargs. It's very similar to the other ones we looked at, except this one has a quiver. Next up we have Balin the dwarf. He's got a really nice dark red torso and a really cool white beard and hairpiece. Also has a nice red short cape. Here we go with big old Bomber. Bro looks like a monk. He's got a bald spot and a big old beer belly. Really cool figure. This piece is exclusive to Bomber, and he's exclusive to the Unexpected Gathering. Here we go with Bofer. He kind of looks like a hunter with that really cool hairpiece. This is what I'm saying with these dwarves. They have some insanely unique pieces, and he's got a cool nougat torso. This is a Mirkwood elf guard. Very basic figure. It's basically an NPC elf. This is the Mirkwood elf chief. He looks pretty old, pretty basic minifigure, but LEGO did a good job matching the dark red on the legs with the torso. Next up we have Glowing the dwarf. This one's exclusive to the barrel escape, and of course it's a dwarf, so it's gotta have a crazy hairpiece. He also has 2 axes, so this guy is strong. Oin the dwarf is up next, and he is also from the barrel escape. Dude, he's got a hook in the back of his hair, and he's got a curly white beard. I want to be Oin when I grow up. The next minifigure we have is crazy expensive. This one has sold for $385 in the past. This is Blue Coat Bilbo Baggins. This one came in a DVD Blu-ray, Target exclusive of The Unexpected Journey. Exclusivity is the main reason why this one is expensive, but still, it's got a nice print on that torso. Here we have Saruman from the Wizard Battle. It's exclusive to that set, and he's got a cool hairpiece as well and a really cool beard. Lord of the Rings knows how to do one thing right, and that is have an awesome facial hair. Here we have an older version of Elrond. He's got a nice silver crown on his elf hairpiece, and this hairpiece has pieces that dip around the torso, which is really cool. And his cape has 2 sides, it's red and yellow. Next up we have Arwen, exclusive to the Council of Elrond. She's got a really nice dress piece here, and it combines with the torso perfectly. We got some hints of lavender in here as well as silver. Very nice elf minifigure. I like how her hairpiece comes around and has curly hair in front. Very nice figure. Dare I say beautiful. Here's another version of Gandalf. This one isn't as cool as the first one because it doesn't have the cape or the wizard hat, but hey, he's got some long hair now. It is a little weird to me that the first version, it looks like he's bald, has no hair, and this one he's got super long hair. It'd be cool if LEGO made a wizard hat that kind of had a dual molded aspect to it, so it looked like he had hair coming out of the back. Next up we have another Frodo. Nothing super special that's going on with this minifigure, but it is a unique minifigure to the Council of Elrond. Oh,
I cannot believe what I am hearing!
Here we have Gandalf the White, looking as white and as beautiful as ever. Magnificent minifigure right here. It looks very similar to the Saruman that we looked at earlier, but he's got a fully white beard. I'm cooler. No, I'm cooler.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Next up, we have the Mouth of Sauron, exclusive to the Battle at the Black Gate. This figure is absolutely insane. Look at that headpiece. No eyes on that one. It is the Mouth of Sauron, so that does make sense. And if you look at the hairpiece too, I should say the helmet piece, 3 prawns on the top. Look at the detail. It's absolutely insane, and it's dual molded with a black there as well. What an insane minifigure. Here we have a Mordor orc with helmet, very similar to the other ones we've gone over, but it has the helmet. Here we have another Aragorn. I like this one a lot more than the other one that we went over. It's got a dual-sided cape, black and red, and the torso print is insane. It's got some gold, some silver. Oh my goodness, and it gels very well with the light printing. This one is exclusive to the Battle at the Black Gate, and it is quite the pricey fig. On average, this one sells for $67 used and $88 new. Here we have the Pirate of Umbar. He's got a cool hairpiece and a very cool face print as well. I like the little arrows there on the middle of his forehead. I don't know why, but I love playing with these chain pieces. Here we have another Mordor Orc, exclusive to the pirate ship Ambush. Has a really cool sword and a nice breastplate. Next up, we have a very unique minifigure, Soldier of the Dead. This one came in the pirate ship Ambush as well, and it's very green. Sand green, I should say. Very nice printing on this one. The headpiece on this one is also super cool. And fun fact, the headpiece glows in the dark. Here we have another Soldier of the Dead. These have gotten very popular recently because they're so army buildable. But they only came in one set, so they're hard to come by. This Soldier of the Dead minifigure routinely sells for over $50. Oh, and his head glows in the dark as well. Here we have the King of the Dead. It's kind of funny because this minifigure sells a little bit cheaper than the other Soldiers of the Dead, probably because this one isn't army buildable. But he's way cooler. He has a crown, a red cape, and he's got like bony torso. His head also glows in the dark. Next up we have Grima Wormtongue. This one's exclusive to the Tower of Verthank. Grima's a very pricey figure, as he's $159 new on average, or $136 used. Next up we have another version of Gandalf the Grey. Same one as the last time, except has a cape. Here we have another version of Saruman. This one's more unique than the last one because he has a dress piece. And the dress piece has a really nice print on it. This figure is also exclusive to the Tower of Verthank, and it routinely sells for over $80. Here we have Bjorn, exclusive to the Dol Guldur Ambush. Fun fact, I have a cat that's named Bjorn. This one has a crazy hairpiece, and he turns into a bear. In the movies, not this minifigure. This guy was my favorite character to play as in the Hobbit video game because you could play with him and he turned into a bear. Here we have a Gundabad Orc. We haven't had one of these yet, and it's pretty cool. This one's different than the other orcs because it's nougat. It also has a really cool print on it, and it's got bones all over the place. Here we have another Gundabad Orc. It's the same as the last one, except has a really cool armor piece. Here we have a Mirkwood Elf Archer. The green and dark brown is really doing something for this fig, and it's army buildable, which is always a plus. This is another one of my favorite figures from the Lord of the Rings, mainly because of his hairpiece. I love that the crown is baked into the hairpiece. It's all one piece. His hairpiece is very similar to the other elf pieces, except this one's got a crown. And his name's Thranduil. I mean, that's just cool. Imagine naming your kid Thranduil. Here we go with another Mirkwood Elf. For some reason, I like the one with the quiver in the back and the hood, even though this hairpiece is more special in the world of LEGO. Next up, we have the Necromancer of Dol Guldur. It's got a basic print. It's basically just green on black, but man, does that really pop. Next up, we have Radagast, exclusive to the Dol Guldur battle. This one sells for over $100, and fun fact, the feather is worth over $60 just by itself. Next up, we have Thorn Oakenshield from the Lake Town Chase. Thorn has multiple versions, and this one is probably the least exciting of all of them. But still, it's a Thorn Oakenshield. I don't really like how the torso print right there is supposed to be his skin color, and it doesn't really match up with the flesh tone of the figure, but what are you gonna do about it? Oh well. Here we have Bard the Bowman. This was one of my favorite characters in The Hobbit. He was such a good character in the movies, and he's got a great minifigure right here. I love this hairpiece and the sideburns. Here's the Master of Lake Town. This guy was a meanie in the movies, but his figure is incredible. He's got a purple and red cape. This is one cape, just dual-sided. He's got an awesome hairpiece with a hat dual molded to the hair, and he's got insane printing on the legs and the torso. And what do you know? Another ginger. At this point, we should have a ginger counter going. Next up, we have the Lake Town Guard. His hairpiece is insane. He's got multiple layers here. He's got silver, he's got tan, he's got brown. He also has some really cool purple printing and silver arms. Here we go with Azog, the big bad from The Hobbit. He's got a really cool handpiece right here. It's like a claw. And his headpiece is very unique. He's got a big head and big shoulders. He stands taller than your average minifigure. Fun fact about this one, there's a San Diego Comic-Con figure that's the same as this, but with an exclusive card, and it's worth thousands of dollars. Without the card, this figure is worth $37 used on average and $43 new. Here we go with two more Gundabad Orcs. These are the same as the last ones we went over. The only difference is they don't have hair. They're bald, boys. I think they need some hair supplements. Imagine you're an orc and you're bald. What a life. Maybe the orc should grow a goatee. That seems to be what bald people do. Here we go with a statue from Dogel Dur. You know, I don't have a ton to say. It's just black print on gray torso. It's just a statue. I just want to take a quick second to let you guys know that I'll be auctioning off all of these figures starting at $1 on Whatnot. If you don't know what Whatnot is a live streaming platform where sellers can go live and buyers can interact with sellers in their live streams. You put up an item, start at $1, it goes for what it goes for, and the item ships to you. What's even crazier is I'll be giving away this Overture set, brand new sealed from LEGO for free in the stream. So what are you waiting for? Sign up for Whatnot with the link in the description and get $15 off your first Whatnot purchase. The stream is going down this Sunday at 12:30 p.m. Make sure to bookmark the stream and mark your calendars so you don't forget. I'll see you there. Here we go with another Bilbo Baggins. This is probably one of my favorite Bilbos because of the patterns on his torso and the colors. This one's exclusive to a polybag. We have another Bard Bowman here. I like this outfit better than his last one, and this one also is a Comic-Con minifigure. Only thing exclusive to the Comic-Con note is the card. The silver pops insanely well on this minifigure. Here we go with the Bilbo Baggins. This one's exclusive to the Lonely Mountain. That fringe print in the middle of the torso is what's popping out to me on this minifigure. The Lonely Mountain is a set with smog, and even in the face of danger, Bilbo is looking sharp as ever. Here you go with Ball and the Dwarf. This version's way cooler than the other one. He's got a really cool weapon. I don't know what that's gonna do to someone, but hey, it looks cool. Here we go with Dwalin the Dwarf. He's got trans greed axe blades and metal silver arms. I mean, he's a beast. I feel like the dwarves could be WWE fighters and no one would blink an eye. Here we have Killy the Dwarf. He's an angry dwarf.
So I suggest you wipe that stupid smile off your face before I come over there and smack it off.
This one also came in the Lonely Mountain. We need all the dwarves to take out Smog. I also noticed his weapon changed from a bow and arrow to a sword. Here we go with Philly the Dwarf. He looks super angry. He does have a much happier version of his face though. I'm definitely a fan of this minifig. Here we go with Tariel. I really like this minifigure because the green really pops for the figure, and I like how the dark green arms complement it. Next up we have another Bard Bowman. Looks like this one fell in some mud. Here's Bane, son of Bard. Looks like he fell in the mud with Bard. He's got a nice green fur coat, and look at those buttons. Here's a Hunter Orc. This one's nose looks really funky, but he's got the Derrick Henry hair, so you gotta love that. Also, the white print on his face is looking really cool. It doesn't even look like this guy has pupils. He's giving me the heebie-jeebies. Here we go with another one, except this one learned how to shoot with a bow. Here's Galadriel. She's exclusive to the Witch King battle and is worth over $50. She's got a really nice glitter cape. It's very sparkly. Her hairpiece has a silver crown, and she's got some really nice printing on her torso and her dress piece. Next up, we have the Witch King, and you guessed it, it's from the Witch King Battle 2. The crown is an exclusive piece to this minifigure, and it has the same cape as the Nazguls. The only difference is this cape is white. Here we go with another version of Elrond. He's got the gold crown and a nice green cape. I also like this version of Elrond because it has that gold torso. It's very similar to the Yun version of Elrond, except this guy's older, obviously. Next up, we have the best version of Thorin Oakenshield. This one is exclusive to the Battle of the Five Armies. I love this figure because of the crown on his hairpiece. It's absolutely insane. LEGO dual molded this one gold and black and then printed on the gold. I guess I'm just a sucker for gold and silver, and Lord of the Rings has a ton of it. Here's another figure exclusive to the Battle of the Five Armies. It's Dane Ironfoot. That's another count to the ginger count. Look at that helmet. That feather piece on top is absolutely insane. This figure is absolutely ridiculous, and I love the attention to detail that LEGO went to make this figure so awesome. Here's another version of Azog, the wide mouth. He's pissed off because he's fighting in the Battle of the Five Armies, looking as beastly as ever. This guy kind of reminds me of Shrek. We got another Gundabad up next. More of the same with the Gundabad, except this one has the white print on its forehead. Bro needs to see a dentist. Oh my gosh. Here's another version of Bane, son of Bard. Looks like he showered and cleaned up his mud mess. The rest of the figures that we're getting into are the new age Lord of the Rings minifigures. These ones are really nice. LEGO did a great job making dual molded legs for the hobbits. This Frodo is very similar to the other one, but it looks much more modern and polished off. Here's Samwise Gamgee. Again, very similar to his other versions, but he has the dual molded legs. Here we have 3 statues from the Rivendell set. They may be stone, but they still stand out in this collection. Here's the old version of Bilbo Baggins. This is the only old version of Bilbo that LEGO has ever made. He's got nice dual molded legs, and I feel like the figure captures the essence of the character very well. He even has a super scary "I need the ring" face. Here we have old Gloin. If you didn't know, Gloin is Gimli's dad. Bro is double axed up on a Thursday afternoon. Here we have Gimli following his father's footsteps, double axed up. This one's legs actually move around. LEGO's previous versions of Gimli just had the short legs that didn't move. His helmet piece is awesome, has some insane printing. He also comes with an extra hairpiece if you don't like the helmet. Here we have a basic Rivendell elf. She may be an NPC, but she's got some killer swords and some awesome prints. Here we go with Arwen. I don't know about you, but this minifigure kind of looks like Anne Hathaway. Let's see what's in her book. Looks like a bunch of gibberish. I really like her necklace, and the printing on the torso and the legs looks great. Here's another NPC, except the male version. He's got the same sword as the girl, but man, that sword is looking scary. Here we go with the updated version of Peregrine Took, otherwise known as Pippin. I really love these versions of the hobbits with the dual molded legs. They really add an extra element to the figure. Here's another version of Merry, the updated version. He's got a fun face print right there, and the dual molded legs, of course. This is definitely the best version of Gandalf by far. He's got a dress piece, a really soft, flexible cape, and he's got printing on the dress piece. I do wish that LEGO would add in some dual molded hair in the back, though. Here we have an updated version of Boromir. It's got a really nice sword piece and a really cool shield. He's also got a really nice cape. Overall, a very nice, complete figure. Here's Legolas with a much needed upgrade. He has dual molded legs, some amazing prints, and overall, just a baller looking minifig. Next up, we have yet another version of Elrond, this time with a dark red robe and some insane weaponry. That silver crown print on his face looks insane, but I love it. This bronzy piece also looks really nice paired with the silver print. Here we go with another Aragorn. This one's pretty basic like the other one we looked at, but overall, a nice fig. Oh baby, super exciting minifigure right here. Another statue. But Rivendell wouldn't be complete without the statues and remembering the history. Here's the first figure from Barad-dûr. Frodo looks great with the one ring, the legs, and the scared one ring face. Here we have Sam, as confident and determined as ever to get Frodo across the finish line to destroy the One Ring. Next up, we have an updated version of Gollum. This one looks super creepy compared to the other ones. I don't know about you, but the left one without the pupils and without the nose just looks like a whole nother level of demon. LEGO really upped their game with these new orcs. That helmet piece looks super cool and unique. It even has 4 little dots in the back of the helmet, and the torso and leg pieces are silver to match the helmet and the sword. Here we have another orc that makes armor. This hairpiece is very different than the other orc hairpieces that we've gotten in the past. The other ones were longer hairpieces, and this one is kind of creepy. It does have some really nice ear molded pieces on here though. Again, I really like that the torso and the legs are silver. Here we have Gothmog, one of the creepiest orcs in the Lord of the Rings universe. I really love this figure because that breastplate has a printing on it and it's just so unique. This orc is very similar to the other one we looked at, but we have a new shield with printing on it. I like that LEGO went the extra mile to put the print on the shield. This guy is really like me for real. Bro loves his food. He makes the sausages for all the homies. I do feel like the red bandana is kind of a weird piece. I would prefer a helmet, but overall, I like the figure. Here we have, in my opinion, the best Lord of the Rings minifigure, Sauron. Sauron looks incredible. He has silver torso and legs, but that's nothing compared to the unique helmet piece that LEGO gave Sauron. Let's take a quick 360 look on the helmet piece for this minifigure. It's absolutely insane, and I feel like nothing else in the Lord of the Rings minifigures even compares to this one. And look at that headpiece that's hiding underneath the helmet. He's burning with rage. And here we have an updated version of the mouth of Sauron. This one looks very similar to the previous one, but the helmet piece is improved. We have the black wrapping around the horns here, and overall, it looks very nice. Do you have any LEGO that you want to sell? We'll buy it. It doesn't matter how big or small your collection is, we're interested. Send an email to wappybricks@gmail.com and we'll give you a free quote for your collection. We also have a massive store located in West Bend, Wisconsin. It's a 5,000 square foot store full of sealed and used LEGO sets, minifigures, and bulk parts. We got it all. All of our inventory is also listed on wappybricks.com if you can't make it to our in-person shop. The last figure in the Lord of the Rings lineup is the Nazgul from the Fellby set. The Fellby set was a gift with purchase on release with Barad-dûr. I didn't open up the set because I want to keep it sealed, but essentially it's the same thing as the last Nazgul we looked at. It's very similar to this fig. And don't forget about the free Barad-dûr in the Whatnot auction and dollars starting all of these minifigures from this video. Get $15 off your first Whatnot purchase when you sign up with the link in the description. Let me know what you think of the Lord of the Rings minifigures in the comments section below. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.